Stay out of trouble, Garland.
You too, John.
John Graham left before Garland did, although he'd initially intended to stay with him through the process, all the way up to the point of escorting him out of the prison. That no longer felt right. In fact, winning the freedom of Garland Webb suddenly didn't feel like much of a victory at all. On the day Webb collected his belongings and walked to a bus station, before he left, he bribed a guard to send a message to another inmate at Coleman. The message got through, and the inmate requested a phone call. 7 miles off the southernmost shore of the United States, Markus Novak's cell rang. They'd been having a good day of it, but in the afternoon the fishing had slowed. The Gulf of Mexico began churning with high swells, and Jeff London turned a shade of green that matched the water. "Bad sandwich," he said, and Mark smiled and nodded.
"Bad sandwich, eh?"
"I don't get seasick."
"Of course not."
When Jeff put his head in his hands, Mark laughed and set his rod down and moved to the bow, where he stood and stared at the horizon line, the endless expanse of water broken only by white-capped waves. All of his memories of the sea were good because all of them involved Lauren. Sometimes, though, when the light and the wind were right, the sea reminded him of other endless places, expansive plains of the west, wind-blown wheat instead of water, storm-blasted buttes. Not so many of those memories were good. He'd been watching the water for a while when he heard the ring, a soft chime, and the charter captain, who was lounging with his feet up and a cigar in his mouth, said, "That's yours, bud." Mark found the phone in his jacket pocket, and he remained relaxed, warm and comfortable, and with his mind on this boat and this day, until he saw the caller ID. Coleman Correctional. For an instant, he just stared, but then he realized he was about to lose the call to voicemail, so he hit accept and put the phone to his ear. He knew the voice on the other end. It was a man he'd spoken to many times, a snitch who'd contacted Mark for legal help, which Mark provided in exchange for a tip on who killed his wife. The police didn't believe the story. The snitch held to it. "He sent me a note, Novak. For you. For both of us. Here's what it says. Please tell Mr. Novak that his efforts were a disappointment, and every threat was only so much wasted breath. I'd hoped for more. Let him know that I'll think of him outside this prison just as I thought of him inside it, and, more important, that I'll think of her. The way she felt at the end. I'll treasure that moment. It's a shame he wasn't there for it. She was so beautiful at the end." The man on the phone had once beaten someone to death with an aluminum baseball bat, but his voice wavered as he read the last words. When he was done, he waited, and Mark didn't speak. The silence built as the boat rose and fell on the waves, and finally the other man said, "I thought you'd want to know."
"Yes,"
Mark said.
"I want to know. It is important that I know."
His voice was hollow, and Jeff London lifted his head with a concerned expression.
"Is that all he had to say?"
"That's all. He's made some threats to me, you know that, but ain't shit happened, so maybe he's all talk. Maybe about this too, you know? Just one of them that likes to claim shit to make themselves feel hard. I've known them before."
"You told me you didn't think he was that kind," Mark said. "You said you knew better. You said he was telling the truth."
A pause. Then, "I remember what I said."
"Anything changed your opinion?"
"No."
"All right. Thanks for the call. I'll send money to your commissary account."
"Don't need to. Not for this. I just thought, well, you needed to hear it."
"I'll send money," Mark repeated, and then he hung up.
Jeff was staring at him, and the charter captain was making a show of working with his tackle, his back to them. "That was about Webb?" Jeff said. Mark nodded. He found the horizon line again, but couldn't focus on it.
"He's taunting me. He killed her. He knows that I know it, and he's a free man. He wanted to let me know that he'll be thinking